Hi you guys, welcome to this very different video for the Sarah Verba community. We're going to change it up a little bit today. I think it's time for this video. I think it's time for us to sit and do a question and answer. This is going to break format. There's going to be a little bit more about some of the more lighthearted aspects of my life. And we are also going to dive into some deep topics this morning. I woke up this morning, so this is something that I'm doing fresh out of bed in January, just feeling really good, feeling very excited about the year ahead and just where I am right now, actually, just this morning. So I'm having my coffee, and we are going to talk about some things. Yeah, if you're not into this, you can just feel free to click away, and we will just be continuing into all the readings. Normal stuff will be continuing to flow, so don't worry about it. But this morning, you guys, okay, we are going to get into some really deep topics when we talk through the Q&A, because there's a lot of questions people ask me consistently that I really wanted to answer. It's been due for a long time, so we're going to get into some really deep topics in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to talk about some of the more lighthearted aspects of life and things that people ask me about. And we are going to talk about some beauty products. I am a Leo. I have been called out in comments a few times as low-key extra, and it's true, I do devote some time in my daily and my weekly routine to taking really good care of myself, to taking care of my skin, to getting really good sleep, to working out, to getting fresh air. I really do spend time on that, and it's something that I love. And in fact, I am partnering with FabFitFun, you guys. So this is not usual for me. I don't ever get sponsored. I don't ever do paid partnerships. I am a FabFitFun partner though, and I'm really excited. They sent me this winter box, and I actually wanted to just show you guys some of the things in here because they are giving you 40% off, you guys, with the code Tarot. Normally these boxes are $49.99, so I think it makes it $29.99. You get your little magazine and your little note. And, you know, the thing that's interesting about FabFitFun, like I said, I don't ever do these. But they try and support women-run brands, and I love that about them. They also give you, like, full-size stuff. And for me, you know, I like to find something that is priced well for me and that also works well. And for example, my favorite thing out of this box are these black eye masks, hyaluronic eye masks. They are amazing, you guys. So this is the kind of thing that I'm into. These go under your eye, you know, and you just put them on there for 15 minutes and they just give you that nice hydration. I live in a very, very dry, high mountain climate, and hydration is something that I'm just constantly working through and doing in my day-to-day. This kind of thing. So this runs retail $30 alone. This is alone is $30. Just if you bought this box, you get 5 masks in here. This comes in the box along with tons of other stuff. So this is my go-to. Put these on. Amazing. This was a winner for me, big time. But I love this box too because, and I'm excited to use some of this stuff. I just moved into a new house and they gave me this really warm, soft blanket. I'm so excited to use it. In fact, I can't wait. Okay, I'm not going to take it off. It's so soft. And they gave me these little prep bowls that are so cute. And look, they really match. These are the things that came in my box. You can customize these, so if you're looking to customize them or find a way that's like a little bit more for you, you know, they have a whole bunch of stuff, but like look at these little bowls, so cute. I do a lot of cooking. And making sure like I'm just taking care of my diet. There's a few other things in here that I thought were really amazing. This hair mask is really nice. It's by Renee Ferderer in Paris. And it's just one of these shine masks. It's hydrating. And you put it, you know, it's kind of a conditioner that you do in the shower. I really enjoyed this one as well. Another one of these high-end brands that you can't really get. This bubble sheet mask, the Glam Glow bubble sheet mask. This is like an oxidizing mask, so it creates those little bubbles on your face. This is really great if you want something that's going to purify and kind of suck out a lot. If you have drier skin or sensitive skin, I would not recommend this. I will be honest. I got a couple of these in here and I used it and it's really fun, and my skin's okay with this kind of stuff, but this isn't going to be my go-to. However, if you really like those bubbly masks, it starts off black when you put it on your face and then it oxidizes and all this like foam develops, and it's kind of a cool, fun experiment. You can take some really funny selfies. Yeah. So that was really interesting, but that's like, once again, that's something that I wouldn't probably go out and purchase, but it was really fun to get to test it out, see if I liked it, and I'm not investing, you know, that $15 in a mask that I may or may not want, right? So you get to play with your makeup routine. I'm trying to switch to natural actually as much as possible, and you know, some of these things are natural and you do get the chance to kind of see what's out there. This African Botanics hand cream has been really great for me. It smells so good, and I've just been carrying this around to put on my hands whenever I'm feeling kind of, once again, I live in a really dry climate, so for me hydration is like everything. I haven't tried this body wash infused buffer yet. I'm intrigued though. And once again, another one of these things I would not buy normally. I like to use very natural things, but this looks like a lot of fun. It's a buffer that has stuff in it. I also got this really cool highlighter by Thrive Cosmetics that has, it's just one of these nice highlighters. Now this is one of those more sustainable brands. A lot of times these brands are like cruelty-free, run by women, run in the natural line. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a nice sheen to it. So, you know, I'll probably like, you know, I'll use that. Let's see. And then, you know, I got a little wallet. Once again, it's matching with the color here. So I'm really excited about all of that. So that's kind of what some of the new things that I've been including in my beauty regimen. And once again, you guys get 40% off your winter box if you head over to FabFitFun, and it's really great. So anyway, let's move on. I know you guys want to get into the real deal conversation. So one of the first things people ask me about is my sun, moon, and rising. So we'll just cover that. I know a lot of you already know this already, but I am a Leo sun, a Virgo moon, a Sagittarius rising. I have my Mars and Mercury in Leo as well. Yeah, so that's my deal. I've been leaning more and more heavily into my Sag rising. I think every week of my life for the last few years, it's getting to the point where it's kind of hilarious. And I don't know how that happened. It's just kind of been naturally evolving. People ask me what my Myers-Briggs is. I'm an INFJ, which is supposed to be really rare, but I feel like so many people say they are. So is it rare? I don't know. Okay, so, and then people ask me about my morning routine. What is my morning routine? When I'm on it, because I love sleep. I love sleep so much. I like to get up around 7 and I like to do some warm lemon water, or sometimes I just skip right to the coffee. I like to dance around to a song that's cheerful for me, something that is like hitting into something for me. I like to just kind of wake up and move around my kitchen while my water's boiling and just get my body moving. I like to do a little bit of yoga or go for a walk depending on the weather. Go for an early morning walk and get that fresh air and that blood flowing. That's really important to me. I try not to look at my phone or my computer before I've been up for like an hour, because it just makes life better to not have that technology right in your face. There's so much information that comes in when you first wake up. I'm somebody who dreams very vividly. I need to kind of sit with what's come in. A lot of times my song choice in the morning will be influenced by what has been coming in my dreams. So those are a lot of the things I like to do. Hydrate, move, take some time. Sometimes I'll journal. If I'm really on it, I will do some writing first thing in the morning. That's an amazing habit routine. I love that. So yeah, I try my best to be really soft and gentle. I'm not naturally a morning person, and I'm very lucky to live a life where I can kind of take care of myself in the way I need to first thing in the morning. This morning I woke up in a really great mood and just felt very festive, and I wanted to talk to you guys, so it was an easy day to wake up. People ask me also often about how I engage in self-care. I know this is like a favorite phrase and it's been discussed a lot. Self-care isn't just cute skincare and bubble baths. I agree with that. For me, meditation, being in the quiet and sitting with myself is a huge part of that. Now, yes, that does involve baths often, or sometimes like skincare or hair care. But anything where I can just sit and listen and receive is self-care to me. So whether that be walking or taking a nap or meditating or just doing a little yoga, anything that slows me down and gets me out of my head is self-care for me, and it feels so good. It's such a relaxing thing to do, so I love to do that. Also, just spending time with friends, honestly. Just call up one of my good girlfriends and just hang out. That to me is like the ultimate form of self-care. I always feel amazing when I've spent time with my soul family. So those are some of the ways that I like to do that. I was also asked, what is my favorite tarot card? This is such an interesting question because it changes. It changes a lot. But I think one thing I thought about when this came up is I was thinking about 2017. I was really into the Tower card. I loved that card. And I still love that card. I think it's a beautiful transformational energy. But where I was in my life in 2017 was I was shifting gears a lot. I had gone through a big breakup in 2016 with somebody I love very much. And that's all good. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, you guys. It's all good. Like, that was a really good thing that happened, but my life was changing a lot. And there was this kind of will in me to, like, strip away what was no longer serving and try new things and be adventurous and be a little bit wild. And so I think that Tower energy of just, like, crumbling anything that was no longer serving me was just really appealing. And I learned how to make peace with energies like the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords. And I'm even still really drawn to those cards because I think for me, when you start engaging with, the symbolism and everything, sometimes those cards can kind of seem like they're negative or scary, but I've really learned over the last number of years that for me, those points of transition are really where the beautiful magic happens, and to look forward to those points of transition and to invite those moments of transition. I used to get really scared of transition. The first parts of my life, I just did not want people to leave. I didn't want anything to change. I wanted to keep things the same. I wanted to feel in control. I dreaded moments of transition. I didn't know how to handle them. And as in the last handful of years, I've really learned to love shifting energy. I've really learned to love that moment of change, and so I'm really drawn to all those transition cards. I love them. I just think there's so much power when you are really in love with that movement. Life changes its flavor. It's never scary. It's always an opportunity. It's always a new, fresh beginning, and I'm really into it. But of course, who can go wrong with the Star card and the Strength card? I love those energies. I love that softer energy. The Star and the Strength card it's that feminine receptive mode that's so beautiful. So I don't know. That's a hard one to choose, but those are some of my faves. All right, let's see what we have next. Let's start getting into some of these bigger questions that we have about life and how to move through it and some of my advice when it comes to how to navigate life and those bigger questions. So we have Jupiter in Sagittarius. It's been a big thing for 2019. It's gotten a big reputation for being this really great placement. It is. Jupiter in Sagittarius is great. It's at home. People wanted to know how to utilize that energy the best. And actually, what I'm going to say is we also have Capricorn. We have Saturn in Capricorn the rest of this year as well. So we have those two planets, the planet of expansion and the planet of restriction, in their home signs. So we have both working with us. And here's the thing, that's a really positive thing. Honestly, the key to using Jupiter and Sag energy is to ground. A few people have been saying this, but it's really true. If you just expand exponentially, it is overwhelming, and you will get to a point where you don't even want to expand anymore, and you're just going to want to curl into a ball, put the blanket over your head, and never come out again if you don't give yourself some really good grounding beforehand. So whether that be investing in your home space so that you have somewhere to go and like rest after you've made a big shift, or investing in your close friendships and making sure those are really taken care of, however you ground and take care of yourself, taking care of your health, pay a little bit more attention to that. Because you're going to get these opportunities to make big phone calls or step into new roles or start new relationships or travel more or what have you, depending on what your level of expansion, where you want to take your expansion is. And that's great. But you're going to need some time to recover from each of those big expenditures of energy. I'm like dropping things over here. You're going to need time to recover from that. So you want to make sure you have that grounding. Otherwise, you will burn out by May. And you will not enjoy Jupiter and Sagittarius anymore. You'll be kind of over it. It can have the shadow side of just being too much, too fast, too soon. And it can feel destabilizing and overwhelming to expand at that level. So really, it's that thing of like Jupiter and Sag will take care of you, but you've got to make sure that you're doing that grounding of that Saturn and Capricorn as well to balance it out, and so you can utilize it to the best advantage. If you're feeling grounded, if you're feeling relaxed, if you're feeling comfortable and healthy, that makes it just really easy to see what you need to do next and where you need to ask questions next, and it won't leave you feeling so overwhelmed. So that's what I would say about that. Do I believe in soulmates? Oh, this question comes up so often. I have such a complex relationship with the word soulmate and twin flame. Those terms, you know, there's a whole library of discussions that you can get into about that. But I think that you can use those terms so easily to imprison yourself in ideas of who you should be, who other people should be, what that looks like, and I think it's really limiting. It can be, right? I think we are very deeply connected to a number of people in our lives, and some of those people are people who stay in our lives for the whole, most of it, you know, and some of them are people who come through for 6 months, and you kind of know what that special connection is. You know, I'm more of the Elizabeth Gilbert brand of soulmate, where it's like soulmates come in to show you something about yourself, right? Or to help you get to the next thing. They're not necessarily the person you're going to marry and just sit and stare into their eyes for 5 decades. There are a lot of people that will come in and they are so on your team. It doesn't mean they're going to stay forever, though. I think it's a really complex thing. I think we are very deeply attached to certain energies, but I don't believe in one soulmate for people. I don't believe in that whole like split soul thing where you're looking for your other half. I think that's such a limiting and imprisoning way of viewing the world. And when you start to get fixated on a single person as the answer to how you're going to live life and feel fulfilled, you are actually shutting yourself down from the information and the opportunities the universe is trying to bring to you. Your inner being is trying to bring to you. Your bigger picture is trying to bring to you. And so I always use those terms very carefully, but I also use them lightly in the sense that I feel like, you know, some of my friends are my soulmates. I have people in my life who I can think of who are like a soulmate level person in my life, including my Scorpio ex. He's one of my very close energetic people, and now he's one of my closest friends in my life, and we have this great friendship. And but that wasn't an easy relationship, and he wasn't meant to be the person that I sit around with. Building a home with, but he's still somebody very important to me. So it's a complex thing, but I think the key being there, that there's not one person who's going to complete you. And that kind of thought process, I think, has gotten less popular, but I think we still get sucked into it, because when you meet somebody who's like magnetic like that, it feels like they're the new truth, they're the new answer. But I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of that, because I think you blind yourself a little bit to the complexity of this organism that we're working with, and the things that you haven't even been able to see yet, that are coming into your life, that are shifting around you. So that's how I feel about that. Is it a good idea to pull cards when I'm feeling sad or stressed? I had to stop and think about this for a minute, because, I mean, honestly, if you're really feeling like pulling cards, pull cards. Here's the deal, though. Tarot is a mirror tool. It's a way to see yourself and process an energy that's working with you, like looking in a mirror, and just getting like a special mirror that gives you maybe a slightly different angle on it all, but it's still a mirror. So the one downside to kind of doing it when you're feeling really stressed or really sad or really frustrated is that it will mirror it back to you, and it will reconfirm it. So if you don't really need another level of reconfirmation about something that you know isn't feeling great for you, it's not going to be the best tool for you. It's not going to soothe you necessarily, right? I mean, if you do want that confirmation and you just need that extra, go for it. I mean, nothing bad will happen. It's just that sometimes we don't need another thing reminding us of where our energy is now. Sometimes we need to just get off the topic completely and go do something else. And maybe just take a second to stop looking for answers and stop trying to get all the answers right away and just slow down. So I'm kind of a proponent in general of take a breath. It's okay to use it. Use it when it feels right to you, but I think that it's one of those tools that's best used when you're feeling calm and you're feeling receptive and you're feeling curious, because then you might get a little bit more of that leading edge energy rather than just the reflection back at you of what you're stressed about, right? So that's a heads up. Tarot is very mirror based, so it can be just as much of a destabilizer as it can be a tool. On those days when you're really feeling kind of whacked out, it can be not the best thing to use. Okay. How do you discover what to do with your life? Man, this question comes up in my sessions, in the comments, in emails, in direct messages. Everybody is so worried that they're doing the wrong thing, and they won't find what they're supposed to be doing, and they won't be doing the most they could be doing, and that they're not seeing it, and that they're going to spend their whole life wondering if they'll ever have this opportunity again. And I have to say that my word for 2019 is curiosity, and I think curiosity is the answer as well. Once again, like soulmates, people are like, I have this one person that I need to find or what have you, this twin flame, this other half of me. The same thing kind of goes for career. People are like, I have this one mission in life, and I'm supposed to know what it is, and it's supposed to come to me, and I'm supposed to just know and just go with it. Here's the deal. You're supposed to experience lots of layers of life. You're supposed to experience many facets of being. And, for example, me. Yes, I have always had an intuitive gift. I've always, been very deeply tied to tarot and intrigued by all these different layers of energy, but I've worked a lot of jobs, you guys. I have worked for an airline, slinging bags, running equipment, spraying airplanes with de-icing fluid for 2 years, in fact. I've worked for libraries. I've worked for city governments, doing papers. I worked for like a big law firm running documents around, like I was like a mail girl in a big city. I've been a freelance writer. I've gone to grad school. I've been unemployed. There have been a lot of things that I have done in my life. And what's interesting is that while it wasn't obvious how that was all going to tie together, it all makes sense when I look back now. I can relate on so many different levels. Oh, restaurant manager. I was a restaurant manager and server. Like, you have to be curious enough to keep trying new things and to not judge it. I think, you think you're supposed to just rush to this conclusion. Are you kidding me? You're supposed to be a multifaceted being who experiences many things. And if you're trying to just have the one mission revealed to you so that you know exactly what it's going to be, you're missing the point a little bit. I think that, yes, you can find that thing that locks in with you and fits with you and feels right for you. But I think you're going to have a much easier time finding it if you're curious about what's next, if you keep your mind open to who you can be, and if you don't try and just put yourself in a box as fast as possible so that you just have it figured out and you're done, right? Oh God, thank goodness I figured out what I'm supposed to do with my life, and now I'm done. Now I can just relax and sit here. It's not the point, So taking that pressure off of yourself honestly will help you find it much easier, and also understanding it's a huge process. So that's what I have to say about that. Okay. How to strengthen your intuition, your sense of connection. I'm going to have another sip of my coffee, you guys. This is very simple, actually. How I was saying, for me, self-care is about those quiet times when I'm just listening. I think that's it. Honestly, sitting quietly, sitting in nature is a really great way to feel connected. Sitting quietly and turning off that analytical mind and just receiving, letting the information come in. Yes, meditation. Yes, moving your body and taking care of your body. Yes, going for long walks. All of those. It doesn't have to be this high intensity training that you do, or a whole bunch of classes and courses that you do in order to feel connected to source, connected to your inner being, connected to this bigger world. It really requires 10 to 30 minutes a day of quiet, receptive mode time. And you can do that in any number of ways. In fact, one of the other questions I have is how to start a meditation practice. Now, I'm not a meditation teacher, so I can't give you, all the ins and outs. I'm sure there are many teachers out there you could look into. But okay, so one of the tools for feeling deeper connection is just to meditate even 15 minutes a day. Really, that's it. 15 minutes a day. Take it out of your day and do it. But it can seem really intimidating to start that practice. Sometimes a great way to start is to start with visualized meditations and to just let those walk you through, because it'll focus your attention. It'll get you into the exercise. It'll get you kind of used to that idea of just navigating energetically like that and relaxing. I love this book called Emergence that has some really great written out guided meditations for doing some inner work and some releasing. So I'll try and remember to leave the link for that in the description box, that book. And then, you can kind of start to shift into just sitting there in the quiet. You can also start by just doing shorter amounts of time. Start with 5 minutes. And don't put high expectations of you're just going to get zen and have no thoughts going through your mind, which I know is what meditating is supposed to be, but that takes practice. It's a muscle that you get better at utilizing. So, it's just about showing up every day and just doing that little bit, really. I mean, really, that's it. It starts there and it just kind of builds. It really is the greatest tool. It's that simple. It's that simple. How do you ignore negative thoughts or override them? This is another one of those big topics, and I think this is going to be one of the flow conversations we're going to have. Once again, flow series. I will keep adding to that. The first episode is up. Leave it in the description box. But here's the thing. I think if you're going through like a deep depression, or you have things like that, obviously that you need help from outside of yourself, that's a whole other thing. But if you're going through an acute time in your life, a breakup or a job loss, or even just like just one of those funny depressions that comes over us sometimes for a couple weeks, or those momentous times in life where there's something that has closed out or ended, we have times in our life where grief is a real thing, and we're having darker thoughts. I don't think you should override those thoughts. I think there's a very important process going on there with letting that heaviness go through you and work through you and sit with you and give you the information you need. I'm not suggesting you stay there forever, but that's a really important process, and I'm a huge proponent of doing that. However, if it's those little negative thoughts that we've trained into ourselves from a very young age, culturally, it happens very quickly, where we say, oh, I'm really bad at time management, or I'm really bad at this, and you just kind of like automatically, when you feel like you didn't get enough in the day, you start talking to yourself like that. This is just another one of those things. Once again, it's a practice that you get better at over time. It starts off very technical. It's a very technical practice where it's just really all you're doing is you're catching the negative thought in its tracks, and you're just replacing it with something kinder, nicer, sweeter, positive. Like, I got lots done today, and I'm feeling really good about it. And, at first that could feel really technical because you're not feeling like, yeah, but the thing is that self-talk, as you get better and better at like catching it and putting in that next better kind of connected, kinder energy, the better you'll feel. And then you'll start to actually get into it emotionally, right? So it may feel technical. It may feel even a little absurd when you start overriding those little negative probes at yourself, but it will start to become a real energetic thing over time. So once again, you start, may not feel that great. Like same with meditation, you might sit there and be like, what am I doing? Over time, it gets really magical. So it's just about showing up that little bit every day, and it accumulates over time. Okay, I'm going to end this first Q&A with a really interesting question, which is, what is the Saturn return all about? I don't know why I'm getting into this topic now, because this is like a whole video unto itself. This is a whole conversation unto itself. But it's important. It's a big transit. It's one of those ones that almost all of us contend with. It's a key turning point, especially. Well, no, they're all important. So you only get 2 to 3 Saturn returns in a human lifetime. It takes about 29 years for Saturn to get all the way through the whole rotation and get back to where it was when you were born. So it gets there around 28, 29, and it's a 2-year process where Saturn comes in. It's like the first third of your life is, you're learning these different things. Comes in, it says, okay, you've learned all this stuff. Now it's time to move on to the next phase of your life. So we need to make sure that you're not going to just keep repeating the same patterns, the same lessons over and over again, like you've done them already. So it tends to challenge you, shift pieces around. It will keep presenting you with things that aren't working for you and say, like, do you really want to bring this with you into the next part of your life? It wants to clarify. It wants to get you ready for the next phase, and it wants you to release those things that just really aren't necessary for you anymore. So it can be a hard couple of years, depending on how resistant you are to receiving that information. You just may be noticing things don't work out the way you think they're supposed to. You keep getting redirects. Saturn is the planet of restriction and time. He's like dad. He wants to give you a curfew and make sure you're taking care of yourself. and that you're not just ignoring when something's not connecting for you. So that's his whole deal, and he's very thorough about it when he hits into that placement for you. So if you're a little bit more receptive to it, it may be an easier couple of years. It really depends on the person and the placement. I have my Saturn Scorpio. I was dating my Scorpio ex at the time, and so it was a very literal translation of that. And I learned so much, came out feeling much more relaxed and centered and easy. And it gives you so many great rewards. Like I said, that's like a whole conversation in and of itself. You guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. I know it was, like I said, a break from format, a break from what I normally bring you, maybe a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit easy breezy, but I really wanted to share it with you. Once again, you can check out FabFitFun and you can get that 40% off with my code, which is Tarot. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. Like I said, you can kind of customize your box, and it's a quarterly subscription thing, so you get this box full of goodies delivered straight to you 4 times a year. It's really fun. So check them out. And I mean, if you guys like the Q&A videos, we can do more of these. We can do a lot more of these. I feel like I just scratched the surface, but this was just the beginning. We can do more about my past too, and who I am, and how I've dealt with challenges in my life. If you guys are interested in that, please let me know. I would love to do some coffee and chats about my process and things that I've learned over the years, if this is something that's clicking in with you guys. So I will see you all very soon. More moon magics, more monthlies. We're going to be sticking and focusing on that throughout this channel moving forward, but this is a fun little break. And I love you guys so much. You can check me out at sarahtarot.com. You can follow me on Instagram at @thesarahtarot. I'd love to see you over there. And yeah, have a beautiful day, my loves.